We do this segment called On the Team, On the Bubble, or On the Outs. Okay? We're going to name a player from the national team, and you guys, actually, I'm going to help you. Yeah, have you guys tell us what you think. Tanner Tessmann. Tanner Tessmann.
So as the game goes, on the team is obviously he makes the World Cup roster. He's at the World Cup. On the bubble, it's Pochettino's thinking, yeah, maybe he goes, maybe he doesn't. And then on the outs,
as of now, he's
watching like we are.
Okay, by show of hands, do you guys think Tanner Tessmann is on the team?
Not many.
Ooh, not many.
Not many.
Interesting.
On the bubble? Yeah.
Majority. And on the outs.
All right. I think he's bubble.
He is a bubble guy. So it's interesting. Like, he's another guy who plays every week.
Yep.
He plays well.
Important role.
But and we just talked to one of them. Yeah. There's this sort of logjam of guys in there. Berhalter, Roldan, Tesman, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Sebastian Berhalter.
Mm-hmm.
So if he takes 6, okay, but if he's taking 5, who's the odd man out? Yeah. You think it's Tanner Tessmann?
I tend to think he's on the bubble, but on the out.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. Here's the thing, and Landon brings up a really good point, and we talk about this on the show a lot. It's not a perfect science, or maybe it is a perfect science, right? So when a manager is building a World Cup roster, they always take a certain number of positions, right? So
Correct.
The most positions you'll take is probably midfield, i.e. wing backs, right? You take a certain amount of defenders and a certain amount of strikers. So you have what, 3 strikers, 4 strikers?
Probably.
Right? And if your 4th striker isn't necessarily good enough, you might add another midfielder.
Right.
Right? So it's just sort of like puzzle to create a roster. Yeah, I think he's firmly on the bubble.
You know what makes it so the problem with Tanner Tessmann is he plays one specific position.
Right. He's a 6.
And you think about Weston McKennie, he can play all over the field. Christian Roldan, through his career, has played in a bunch of different spots.
Yeah.
He can do that. Tyler Adams can play in different spots. So that could end up being a detriment to him. Mm-hmm. Oh, Aidan Morris is the other one, by the way. I forgot. So that's 7 guys now. So
he's next.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, look at that. We have good producers. Okay, let's move on to Aidan Morris. By a show of hands, on the team, Aidan Morris.
Not
Only
many.
a couple. On
Not
the
many.
bubble. Nobody wants to raise their hand. On the outs. Oh, jeez. On the outs.
A lot of outs.
Okay. I wonder why.
You? Another guy playing important minutes. First club.
No, I know he is at Middlesbrough. He plays a lot.
Big player.
The problem with Aiden, again, is one very specific position. And I learned this from Nate Miller, who was our coach at San Diego Loyal. He would always say to me, I like players that have a star quality.
Yep.
And when you're building a roster, you need people who are solid, but you also need people who have a star quality. Like with Christian, just listen to him speak. Christian Roldan, he's a leader.
He's a dog.
He impacts. He's nasty.
Yep.
He has some of these star qualities and tangible things that really help him, and that can help you make the roster. Or you can be supremely talented, or you can be really athletic, or great at set pieces. But with Tanner and Aiden both, seem like they don't have a superstar quality.
Yep.
But they're very good players. So what do you think?
I would take him, but if you're asking me as the manager, he's firmly on the bubble. I think I don't know if both of these players go.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think Tesman and Aidan Morris go.
And I think given the way Pochettino has treated them in the minutes and et cetera, I think Tesman's ahead of him.
I think Tesman's ahead of him, no doubt.
Based on that.
No doubt.
So.
All right, the next one's an interesting one.
Okay. Boy, he gets a lot of airtime on this show.
He gets a lot of airtime.
Gio Reyna. For a guy who really rarely plays soccer, he gets a lot of airtime. On the team, people like him. On the bubble.
Ooh, a lot of on the bubble.
And on the outs.
Not many. Oh. Yeah, one up front. Okay, so
it's really interesting.
He's polarizing. He's an enigma.
Yeah.
Because I think you can argue, as I sit next to arguably the greatest U.S. soccer player, the greatest.
My man.
Heard it here. Heard it here. But you can argue that, like, and I'll say this, like, when I talk about Zach Steffen, right? We come from a long line of brilliant American goalkeepers. I look at Zach Steffen, and I've said this. He should be the greatest U.S. men's national team goalkeeper of all time. Physically, his body's incredible. He can do things that others we couldn't. Not all the time. And so I look at Gio, and I think this might be one of the most physically gifted footballers. You and Clinton had it, but like not many U.S. players have that. Like so, that's why I think he's such an enigma, because people want, in the spurts that we see, we're like, holy heck, like nobody does this. And so, look, there's a lot of reasons why he could be on the bubble. Partly because he's not playing consistently enough. But you know me, and I do think at the World Cup you have to have a difference maker. He's special. He is special.
I know.
When he's on the field and he's on the ball, he's special. He's nasty. He's willing to mix it up. I think he has magic in his feet, and I would put him on the team. I would.
This one's hard for me. You know, I always say sports are the ultimate meritocracy because they don't care who you are, where you've been from, who you love, what you look like, what language you speak. Like, you have to do the job, and if you don't do the job, you're out, and if you do the job, you're in. But in some cases, it's just not the case. And with Gio, if you said right now, and you take his body of work with his club team and with the national team, would say he does not deserve to go to the World Cup. However, if he's fit and he's healthy and you need a goal in the last 20 minutes, you're looking down the bench, there's not many people you're going to look past.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's not many people you're going to choose over Gio, if any, right? And so now it's like, it's not fair, and it might not be fair.
Right.
But he probably needs to go for that reason, especially if the roster's 26 players.
Correct.
Yeah, he probably does. But I think, given everything, I would say he would be on the outs. But I think in Pochettino's mind, he's like, I got something here. Maybe I can just squeeze a little out of him.
And maybe you only need a little bit of juice out of him. Like to your point.
Agreed.
Let's sort of take you inside a team when the fur starts flying. Sometimes you have this amazing game plan, and you train, right? And you're laughing because you know. And then you get into a game, and the game plan was get in the half spaces, get on the half turn, take the ball. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, there's players on your team like deer in headlights, can't get on the ball. That might be a moment where he goes, okay, I'm making a change at 55 minutes. Gio, you're on, because guess what? We have no focal point. We can't get out. We got nobody who's willing to take the ball. And maybe in that moment, for those 40 minutes, he becomes an asset. Yeah. So I think he's on. I think he's going.
What I know is that we're going to have this conversation all the way till the roster gets announced. Okay, last one, interesting one. 18-year-old, I believe, playing at Augsburg, center back, consistently and playing well. Noahkai Banks. So if you don't know about him, you're going to learn about him. I'd be curious if he gets called into these March friendlies. By show of hands, assuming you know who he is, on the team. Okay.
All right, we got not
on
many.
the bubble. I'm not sure many know of him yet.
He's going to be an out.
And on the outs. Yeah, I think not many people know about this kid. Yeah. I have a bold prediction.
Go on, give me.
I think he is going to be starting for us in the World Cup.
It's amazing. It's an amazing prediction.
Yeah,
you said that.
I do, and this is why.
This is why. Give it to me.
Tim Ream is locked and going to play. Chris Richards is more than locked and going to play. I think Pochettino wants this team to have the ability to play in a back three.
Yes.
I think the team performs best in a back three. So your options become McKenzie, Miles Robinson, I don't even know, Noahkai Banks. You can maybe move, if Joe Scally makes the team, maybe Alex Freeman can play there. Maybe Anthony Robinson can play on the left.
Yep.
But I think he's a kid who's, in his last game, played, I believe, on the right side of a three.
Yep.
Earlier in the season, played on the left side of a three. So he's clearly comfortable. He's playing in the Bundesliga every week as an 18-year-old. And I just think when push comes to shove, Pochettino might go, okay, look, he's young, but what are the alternatives? Yeah,
I mean, just quickly, I think with respect to him, he might make it and might start by default. And what I mean by that is I don't believe we have a right-sided center back to play in a three. We've got Tim Ream, we've got, as you said, Chris Richards, and the other one's sort of it's a bit piecemeal together. Like there's not a standalone right-sided center back, and so, or it hasn't seen to sort of show itself with Pochettino's selection. So, I think he might, again, playing in the Bundesliga, even though he's 18, that's a big deal.
That's a real deal.
But so we will. But I think
can't overlook that.
I think to your point though, we'll know the answer to him as opposed to Gio, which I think we'll know way further down the line. I think we'll know the answer to Noahkai Banks probably in the next month or two. If he comes into camp or doesn't come into camp or comes into camp and doesn't play, time's running out.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so I think we'll know the answer probably back end of March.
Well, Pochettino, I just saw before we came on, like an interview he did, and he said for him, the World Cup starts in these March games. That is the way he's viewing it. Fair. So I'm taking him at his word. I don't know if it's just media speak or whatever, but it feels like that's where his head's at.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see.